Hi friends, earlier we have discussed about how you are creating a data frame in different platforms and all, and we have also displayed the rows and columns and how you are created by copying or by using CSV Excel file and all. So now we'll apply some basic functions by which you will understand about the structure of the data frame. These are very simple and basic functions which you should know, and with this we'll end our part A or the introduction to data frame. Hope you have a good idea about it, and at the end we'll again discuss what's our next plan. We are in our Colab platform, the Google Drive, and we have in the previous one we have seen how you have created this data frame, or if you are uploading your CSV or Excel file, same, we have already discussed that. I am just running it once to create my data frame, and note that here I have given one index, set index that ID. I told Colab don't use Pandas that don't use you add your own index, use the ID column as index. It can be removed also. Let's just add a code block, start with our head. So I am just printing df head. What this head does is it picks up the first 5 rows of data. So by default it is 5. Now let me just print it. So here it is. So 5 rows of data. Suppose I want, okay, let's get 2 only. 2 is enough for me. So I am given 2 here. So I am picking up 2. So this is the head gives you. You just want to see what is the number first 2, how it looks. If there is a head, there will be a tail also. Let's add one more. Here it is. Print. By default, tail also gives 5. So let's run this. Here it is. Now I can say 4. So from the end, from the last records, return the 4 records. We'll add one more code block here. So we'll say print df.info. What this will do is it will tell me what are all the, let me run this. What is the detail information about the data frame? So it tells what are the columns, string, and memory uses also it will tell me. So this is basically giving all the information about what is the data frame is all about. So columns, all the details you will get it. Now let me add one more here. After that, let us just see what is the shape of the data frame. What is shape here means how many rows are there and how many columns are there. So df.shape. Now what it does, it returns me a tuple with rows and columns. So it's saying 35 rows are there and 4 columns are there. So I'll just write it here. I'll get a tuple here, tuple of rows and columns. Okay, now here you see I have 4 here, but one thing is one I have already used as index. Here it is set index. I told don't use your own index, use our ID column as index. So it has used. Now what happens if I'll remove this index? Remember earlier we have 4. So I have just commented this index and recreating the data frame. I am running this again. Now let's come back here. So here I am running this. You see what happens, the column became 5 because it has added the index column to that. So Pandas has added, so that is why. Now if suppose I want that, okay, print the how many rows only. So what I will do, print df.shape. Now here because it's a tuple, so I am using rows will be 0, and if I want column then I will be using 1. So I am use 0 for the rows. So you can see 35 here. Okay, you can just it's a tuple only. So 1 means it should print how many columns are there. So that's all. Let's understand size. I am adding one more code block. Now print size. Now what this will output? This will tell me, df size, data frame dot size. This will tell me how many elements are there. It will simply multiply the rows with columns and give me that. So that's the value I am getting it. Fine. Then next we will move one more. This is all about we are trying to understand our data frame. You may have a large data frame with more records, and also here it will be useful. You are just using a small one to better to understand all the concepts. Now let me just print df now ndim. Oh, what's the dimension of it? Okay, all data frame here it is. You will get it. If it is a data frame, we'll get 2 as outputs. because it's a data frame. If it is a series, then we'll get it 1 because it's a number of dimension or dimensions what it is. I will write it here, dimension. Sorry. I am preparing parallelly one cheat sheet also, means all basic functions will be available in that. So you can use that, just refer it easily. So next is, let's say, list out all the columns of it. So print df dot column. So yes, column. So what are the column names or what is that? So here it is, ID, mark, gender, all these are there. Now I want to create a list out of it. So I'll use toList. So I'll create a list of it from this. Fine, this you are getting a list now, ID, name, class, mark, gender. This is the list you are getting. Now let's suppose I have a large, I want to just have a statistics of it, of this data frame. So what I will use, here I will say print, so df describe. So fine, print df describe. What it gives me? It returns me what is the, it picks up the mark column. It know that mark column is the integer column. So it's a standard deviation, mean, 25%, 50%, 75%, all the statistical data it has given me. So it gives me a description, or it gives me a more or less idea about what is the data frame is all about. If you are handling a large data frame and you want to experiment with some graphs or something out of that, some sample records, then you can use this function sample to get the detail. Say you need not necessary that will load the entire data frame. Take out some sample. Say I am saying print df.sample. So it picks up some sample records and display it. Now every time I can, it's a different sample all the time. So now what happens, suppose I want that, no, you give me at least 5 records because we have around 35 or so records. So I am just 5 records I am asking. So it returns me a sample of 5 records. Now every time I run it, I will get a different set of records. Fine. Now even I can tell also that use fraction. Say I want that you use 10% of the total records. So I can say 0.1. So I am specifying that you give me, return me 10% sample records. Here it is. Again I am running, I will get a different sample. So this I can use it, experiment with that instead of loading the entire data frame. Friends, with this we will conclude our part A, or the introduction to the data frame. Hope you have understood the concept and the dimension, what a data frame is, and more we will learn also while in other sections where various functions, sources, and how we will apply these data frames to create different applications. All those we will learn. And another thing is, it's not necessary that when you move to part B, where you will be input output functions for a data frame we will learn, you should maintain the sequence. You can also see the other functions, how you will filter the data, rows and columns and produce it. Those part also you can jump it. But before that, my request is, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add new tutorials. We frequently do that also, and this sequence also we are continuing. And if you are facing any issues or some doubts you have, put it in the comment section below. So we'll try to discuss it or modify our script it. Please share this with your friends, and thank you for watching.